During the onboarding training for new interns, my boyfriend Ethan was assigned as the training group leader. He utterly despised that rebellious girl who refused to follow the rules. He said she showed up late and left early every day, wearing heavy smoky makeup, with none of the professionalism expected of an intern. I comforted him with a smile. The training only lasts a month anyway. Just bear with it, and it'll be over. Until a month later, at the farewell dinner marking the end of training, I had planned to go with Ethan. But he refused. They're all just new hires. If you come, they'll definitely make a fuss. You should just rest at home. I nodded in agreement, but coincidentally, that evening a friend invited me to dinner at a location very close to Ethan's farewell party. After the meal ended, I suddenly wanted to see him. Through the glass window, I saw that amid the jeering and cheering, that intern girl he supposedly disliked the most was straddling his lap. Ethan, everyone's shipping us as an enemies to lovers couple. Have you considered dumping your girlfriend and being with me? Ethan fell silent for a moment, then raised his hand as if to push her away. She and I have been together for 5 years. I could never hurt her for anyone. But unexpectedly, the girl flashed a bold smile and pulled him by the collar, offering her red lips. And Ethan didn't refuse. I stared at the scene in a daze. Beyond the heartache, I suddenly felt like laughing. So Ethan's dermophobia could be easily cured by a girl he'd only known for a month. 5 years together, and we'd done everything intimate couples do except kiss. All because he found it disgusting. I'd always been accommodating, thinking that someday he might accept me. But now, I suddenly didn't want to accommodate him anymore. Amid wave after wave of cheers, the kiss lasted a full 3 minutes. When it ended, Ethan's pale lips were already smeared with Harper's lipstick. How was that, Ethan? You enjoyed it too, didn't you? I'm a good judge of character. Even though you say you hate me, you really can't resist me. You're physically attracted to me. Watching her smug expression, Ethan pressed his lips together, feeling a subtle embarrassment at having his thoughts exposed. Think whatever you want, but I already have Nina. We're getting married soon. Harper let out a scornful laugh, completely unconcerned. That's fine. As long as there's love, I don't care about titles like girlfriend. When we were kissing just now, your heart was racing and your movements were clumsy. Ethan, was that your first kiss? Ethan froze for a moment, tacitly confirming it. The people around immediately started jeering. Ethan, you're not lying to our Harper, are you? You've been with your girlfriend for 5 years, and you're saying you've never kissed? Who's going to believe that? Exactly. Harper, watch out, you might be getting played. Harper glared at them angrily, also thinking she'd been deceived, and got up indignantly. But Ethan pulled her back into his arms. I'm not lying to you. It really was my first kiss. I have germophobia. At home, I won't even touch her plates and forks. Kissing her, I find it disgusting. My heart trembled uncontrollably. Ethan was taciturn by nature, not someone who liked to explain. Every time we fought or had a misunderstanding, he was a man of few words, leaving me to process my emotions alone. But now, with Harper, whom he'd only known for a month, he was willing to lower himself. Harper's expression visibly brightened, her eyes full of mockery. You can't even stand kissing her, yet you've been with her for 5 years? You really can endure. Ethan didn't refute it. He just lowered his eyes and said with a sigh, If I'd met you earlier, I definitely wouldn't have gotten together with her. Harper was delighted by his words, grinning as she wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed him again. Watching them lost in each other, I clenched my fists, my stomach churning. Forcing myself to calm down, I took out my phone and called Ethan. My special ringtone played. Ethan instinctively tried to push Harper away. But Harper wrapped herself around him again, dissatisfied. By the time Harper finally ended the kiss, I'd already called 4 times. Ethan took a moment to compose himself. Once his breathing steadied, he answered. His voice was the same as always cold, but tinged with the unique gentleness he reserved for me. "What's wrong, Nina? The music was too loud just now. I didn't notice you calling." A mocking smile tugged at my lips. I didn't expose his lie, instead saying softly, "Ethan, I came to surprise you. Turn around." Through the glass door, Ethan and I locked eyes. The smile on his face froze abruptly, and his complexion visibly paled. Before Harper could react, he strode away, walking toward me. "Nina, when did you get here?" I smiled, lying casually. "Just now." Ethan visibly relaxed. Behind him, Harper walked over step by step. "Ethan, so this is your girlfriend? She's not bad-looking, but she seems pretty old." Ethan frowned, reprimanding her. "Don't talk nonsense." Harper's expression immediately darkened, and she turned and left. Watching her retreating figure, regret flashed in Ethan's eyes. The next moment, he handed me off to two male colleagues who were watching the drama unfold. "Nina, let them keep you company for a bit. I need to use the restroom." With that, he took off in the direction Harper had gone. Half an hour later, Ethan finally returned. Harper followed behind him. Her dress was wrinkled and her makeup smudged. My heart sank, the nausea intensifying. "Sorry about that, Nina. I was in a bad mood earlier and neglected you. Since you're here, let's play some games together." Harper looked at me with a smile, her eyes full of provocation. Before I could refuse, Ethan had already spoken for me. "She can't hold her liquor. Don't go too hard on her." More than just can't hold her liquor, I'm allergic to alcohol. Ethan knew this full well, but he'd just finished placating Harper and didn't want to upset her over something so trivial. My heart felt like it was being crushed by a rock. I could barely breathe. I knew nothing about drinking games to begin with, and with Harper leading the charge against me, I quickly lost. She poured a full glass and handed it to me. "Nina, everyone else who loses has to drink 3 glasses, but since it's your first time playing, 1 glass is fine." Watching her act so magnanimous, an indescribable anger rose in my chest. "I'm allergic to alcohol. I can't drink." Harper acted surprised. "Why didn't you say so earlier? How about we let Ethan drink it for you? You two are a couple he shouldn't mind, right?" She flashed a malicious smile and handed the glass to Ethan. Ethan pressed his lips together and didn't take it. He looked at me, his tone apologetic but also slightly reproachful. "Nina, I have germophobia. I can't use the same glass as someone else. You know that." "It's just 1 drink. Have it yourself. Don't make things difficult for me." The string that had been stretched taut in my heart suddenly snapped. I looked at Ethan, my nose stinging uncontrollably. Then, gritting my teeth, I took the glass and drained it in 1 gulp. The alcohol made my eyes water, and my stomach burned painfully. Ethan instinctively moved to support me, but I shook him off. "You all keep playing. I'm heading home." I went to the hospital first to get an allergy shot before returning home, where I tossed and turned all night. Ethan didn't come back until the next morning. Seeing my haggard face, he was obviously panicked. "What happened? Are you still feeling bad from drinking last night?" "I'm sorry. I should have stayed with you, but I called you over a dozen times and you didn't answer. I thought you were still angry." Right. He thought I was angry, so instead of comforting me, he just left me alone. But when Harper got angry, he immediately chased after her to placate her, even with me right there. A bitter smile crossed my lips, but what concerned me more was something else. "Did you really call me? Then why didn't I receive any calls?" Ethan looked confused at first, then thought of something and stiffened. "I drank too much last night and accidentally blocked your number." His face was full of apology as he reached out to hug me. "I'm sorry, Nina. I promise it won't happen again." Smelling the sickly sweet perfume on him, my heart felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand. Accidentally? What a coincidence. Harper must have taken his phone and blocked me on purpose. Ethan was someone who valued his personal space immensely. Just like he wouldn't kiss me, he also never let me touch his phone. He considered it privacy, a boundary that even the closest person couldn't cross. But I couldn't touch it, Harper could. A mocking smile tugged at my lips. I suddenly felt utterly exhausted. Pushing Ethan away, I turned and walked into the kitchen. Half an hour later, Ethan sat at the dining table, staring at the plate in front of him, his expression growing darker. "Nina Smith, what's gotten into you today? Just because I didn't take that drink for you last night, you're deliberately retaliating. Why did you use your plate to serve me food? Don't you know I don't know." I looked up and cut him off. "Ethan, if you're sick, go get treatment. Don't expect me to accommodate you forever. Or, if you really can't handle it, we should just break up." This was the first time I'd mentioned breaking up with him. Ethan was obviously panicked. "Nina, that's not what I meant. I was wrong. I shouldn't have snapped at you over something so small. But you should understand me too. Germophobia is a psychological condition. It's not that I don't want to overcome it, I genuinely can't." "Can't overcome it? I don't think so." When he was kissing Harper so passionately, where was his germophobia then? I lowered my eyes to hide the sarcasm in them. I didn't want to say another word to him. "Whatever. If you can't eat it, just order takeout." Seeing that I had no intention of giving him an out, Ethan lost his temper too. He stood up abruptly, the plates and forks on the table scattered across the floor with his movement. "Nina Smith, what's your problem? Are you giving me the silent treatment now?" I used to think Harper had a bad temper, but now I think a bad temper is actually good. At least she voices her needs. Unlike you never say anything, making people guess all day long. My eyes immediately reddened. More than anger, what I felt was heartbreak. I used to cry and make a fuss too. Like Harper, I deliberately show my displeasure and act out, hoping he'd comfort me. But how did he treat me? He found me annoying and dramatic. He said I was too emotional to solve problems properly. So, to avoid escalating conflicts, I could only choose to shut up. He was the one who turned me into this, yet now he was using another woman to reminisce about how I used to be. How could such a shameless person exist in this world? Get out. Ethan, get out. Since you think Harper is so great, go find her. I feel sick just looking at you now. Ethan's expression instantly turned ugly. He clenched his fists, turned around, and left without looking back. The room fell silent. Looking at the mess all over the floor, I suddenly felt drained of all strength. The tears I'd been holding back finally broke through, dropping onto the floor one by one. I don't know how long passed before my phone suddenly dinged. Ethan had sent me a video. In the video, the same man who'd just been furious at me for using the wrong plate was now looking adoringly at Harper as they shared an ice cream cone. My hands trembled. I realized this video couldn't possibly have been sent by Ethan. Harper must have taken his phone again. A bitter smile crossed my lips. Perhaps because I was too disappointed to have any expectations left. My heart felt as still as dead water. I closed my phone, took out my suitcase, and started packing my things. I couldn't continue with Ethan anymore. Halfway through packing, Ethan suddenly called, his voice full of urgency. "Nina, I remember your parents are both massage therapists. You must know a bit too, right?" Harper accidentally heard her back. "She can't stand the smell of disinfectant at the hospital. Can you come help her?" I almost laughed in anger. These two really had thick skin. "I don't know massage, and even if I did, why should I help her? Figure it out yourselves." I hung up directly. Before long, the phone rang again. This time it was my mom calling. "Nina, your dad and I are already in the car heading over. We'll get there as soon as we can." I was confused for a moment, not immediately understanding what my mom meant. "Ethan told us that a friend of yours accidentally injured her back and needs massage therapy, so he asked us to come over as soon as possible. What's wrong? Didn't you know? Ethan's shamelessness exceeded my imagination. For Harper's sake, he actually used my name to summon my parents. But my parents weren't even in the same city as us. It would take them at least 3 hours to drive over. What's more, my dad had a heart condition. He just had bypass surgery recently, and the doctor had told him to rest well. He'd even taken a month off work. Ethan knew all of this. He just didn't care. I wanted to tell my parents not to come, even wanted to tell them the whole truth. But Ethan and I were already at the stage of discussing marriage. I was afraid that revealing everything without warning would be too much for my dad's heart. In the end, I said nothing, only told them to drive safely. When my parents arrived, I immediately went with them to the address Ethan had given. As soon as we entered, Harper was lying on the bed, her face full of irritation as she complained. "Finally, it's been over 3 hours. Anyone would think you died on the road." My parents' expression stiffened. Ethan quickly tried to smooth things over. "She's young and doesn't know better. Please don't take it to heart." Watching his obvious favoritism, my parents' faces flashed with suspicion. "Nina, is she your friend or Ethan's friend?" I clenched my fists and took a deep breath. "Ethan's friend, but I know her too." With that explanation, my parents finally relaxed. After an hour of massage therapy, both my parents looked exhausted. I'd planned to take them out for a meal and some rest, but they insisted on bringing along Ethan, their future son-in-law. Ethan agreed, but Harper immediately said sarcastically, "Go ahead. Good riddance. Turns out what the guys in our class said was right, some people just aren't worth committing to." He got his fun, and now he's abandoning me, and he made me hurt my back. Ethan's face went pale with shock. He hadn't expected her to pull this stunt. Looking somewhat panicked, he scolded, "Harper, what are you talking about?" Harper pouted, not caring whether he could save face. "Ethan, you don't really think I'm willing to be your mistress, do you? I already sent your girlfriend that video of us sharing ice cream. I didn't expect her to be so tolerant she's still pretending not to know." My parents finally understood. Their faces immediately turned ashen. "Ethan, you cheated, and you still had the nerve to make us give this homewrecker massage therapy? Do you have no shame?" My mom's voice rose sharply. My dad was so angry his chest heaved. Looking at Harper's smug face, I finally snapped. I walked over and slapped her hard across the face. "Harper." Ethan's expression changed drastically. He rushed over to shield Harper, shoving me hard. Seeing his daughter being mistreated, my dad immediately tried to help, but before he'd taken 2 steps, he clutched his chest and collapsed. Dad,